On their way back to the stadium, Natasha explains the Sputniks warn you when you're in danger, like right now with the cops showing up behind them. Natasha isn't bothered and takes Anton inside, leaving the system to block the officers from following them. Anton gets nervous about the scanner, but thankfully the computer doesn't detect the pod. He wonders what may happen if his Sputnik never tells him its name, and Natasha explains he may die without that connection. The next day, the team gets ready for the next match, and Anton hides the pod under his clothes before his Sputnik puts on his uniform. Then Anton pretends he needs to go to the bathroom to take a moment and release the sap on the stadium floor before joining the team. Today's opponents are the Amazonians, who are huge but very friendly. Everyone is excited to see Anton as the new player, including his mom, who is now spending time with Vasily. When the match starts, Anton refuses to play and sits on the floor, causing the people to go from supporting him to booing him. Everyone calls him a quitter, and Bello pauses the game to check on him. When Anton accuses him and Natasha of lying, they show him they've already gotten the medicine and his mother is slowly getting better. Bello decides Anton deserves a full explanation and takes him to his room, where all the ball pebbles pile up. He explains that the balls are the wave eaters and that they can't be destroyed. However, they can't be discharged after 5 strikes from an athlete with teleportation powers. This is why the Dandelion Stadium was created. Cosmoball is their way to fight a war against Cherno without worrying or hurting the population. They cannot kill Cherno because his lab will explode with him and it's too close to Earth. Score. Anton realizes the mistake he's made and runs to check on the sap, only to discover the stadium is already infected. Then Anton runs back to the arena, where he sees the poison is reaching the walls. Here too, he immediately warns Bello, who tries to freeze the cracks. Unfortunately, the poison is stronger than that, and it begins spreading everywhere. Thus, Bello activates the evacuation mode to send all the viewers back to their homes on the now flying seat. Cherno begins using its last wave eater to control the poison and tries to grab a few of those seats, prompting the athletes to use their teleportation to save them. Then, Cherno releases the wave eater into the stadium, and when one of the Amazonians kicks it away, it flies in Natasha's direction. Luckily, Anton acts fast and teleports our way. Afterward, Anton begins hitting the wave eater to discharge it. But since he's hit as well, Natasha has to help him finish. Everyone congratulates Anton. But he feels worried because when he takes off his glove, he notices a weird spark on his hand. Furious about the trick on your plate on him, Anton hides his Sputnik in the stadium and goes to see Anya. As soon as he arrives, Valia freezes him by throwing powder at his face, then reveals his real form as Valia. While Anton's Sputnik makes a hole in the wall and asks Bello and Natasha to follow it, Valia tells Anton she's responsible for his bad luck before poking his forehead with a special weapon to take blood to gather enough DNA. Cherno receives the pod with the blood and uses it to finish his experiment, which turns out to be a giant white creature that Cherno jumps into. To control it from the inside, Valia leaves the room to reunite with her father, and the Sputnik takes the chance to find Anton's body. It uses the blood from the activation to heal Anon's wound, before shutting down as Anton wakes up. Bello and Natasha arrive, and hear Anton confessed he poisoned the stadium. At that moment, Cherno appears on the hologram and asks Bello to join him, calling him his creator. Natasha wants to know the meaning of this, but Bello refuses to explain and asks her to get ready to fight Anton's left behind for being a traitor. Cherno uses the creature to escape his prison, destroying a bunch of buildings as it flies to outer space, where he begins creating more wave eaters from an egg. Bello gathers the athletes from all 3 teams and asks them to spread around the city to protect it. Then he flies back to the stadium to make a broadcast, where he tells the whole world about the truth behind Cosmoball. Meanwhile, Anton makes his way home, and everyone insults him for being a quitter in his room. He tries to fix his Sputnik before lying down to let depression take him. His mother finds him and explains everyone makes mistakes. The real strong people are those who work to fix them. Natasha teleports to the stadium to ask Bello for an explanation, so Bello finally confesses Cherno had been his own experiment. His mistake had been giving him feelings, and Cherno began to create research so unsafe that it earned him banishment. As Bello begins flying the stadium into space too, Cherno uses the new wave eaters to attack Earth, prompting the athletes to jump into action and do their best to kick them all away. Lots of spaceships sent by the council begin to arrive and try to capture the white creature, but Chernow's hold on it allows it to escape and start attacking the fleet, leaving only the dandelion left. The Wave Eater attack is getting hard to handle by the athletes, and Fan gets hurt, causing her to start falling. Unfortunately, she wakes up just in time to teleport away, but their defenses are failing and the Wave Eaters are damaging the city. Anton sees this and is so desperate to help that he wants to join without armor. This determination is enough to finally activate his bond with his Sputnik. After a series of images about the past few days plays in his mind, the Sputnik reveals its name is Mowgli. Anton teleports into the city to help some civilians before joining the athletes in the sky. Paley immediately asked him to help him protect Fan because she's hurt. The mother takes Mowgli to protect it, and Vasily shows up to take her to a safer place. Both adults use this chance to confess their feelings for each other. Anton finds Fan on the ground, insisting she's fine, and he decides to hand her to the cops that are guiding the citizens into a shelter. Afterward, Anton goes to stop the Wave Eaters. He kicks the first one with no issues, but the second one hits him and sends him to the ground. This danger activates Mowgli, and it goes looking for its master, discovering Anton lost his clothes, but he's healthy because his body absorbed the Wave Eater's energy. Then Mowgli becomes Anton's armor again, and they fly up together to stop the rest of the Wave Eaters by absorbing them instead of kicking them up in space. Bella wants to leave in a pod to see Cherno, so he gives Natasha the data lines control, asking her to save Earth if he doesn't come back alive. Natasha refuses to lose him and grabs him to teleport inside the white creature. Cherno asks Bello to show his real alien face, then he tries to kill him. Natasha jumps in to stop him, and Valia comes in his defense. Now the girls are fighting each other while Cherno and Bello carry on their own battle. Volume overpowers Natasha and captures her by pushing her into the creature's wall. It looks like Cherno has the advantage, but Bello takes the distraction to freeze the egg that produces the Wave Eaters. Then he freezes Cherno as well. Volume transforms into Natasha to approach Bello unnoticed and uses her powder to freeze him too on Earth. Anton decides to risk it and slowly teleport further from the atmosphere, which athletes aren't supposed to do. Fan arrives at the shelter and Vasily decides he doesn't want children to protect him, so he kisses Anton's mother before asking another cop to join him to defend the shelter. Valia frees Cherno, and when he's about to kill Bello, Anton teleports inside the creature, grabbing Valia as hostage. However, Cherno doesn't care about his daughter because she was an imperfect creation, so he pierces through her to attack Anton. Fortunately, his armor protects him from damage, but Cherno still pushes him to trap him in the wall. Suddenly, Bello releases one last ice ball from his fingers, and a furious Cherno turns to finally kill him. Valia tells Anton he's connected to the creature now, thus he should try talking to it. Anton concentrates and appears in the creature's mind. The beast begins chasing him to get him out, so Anton runs to the door, only to stop at the last second. Confused, the creature stops too, and Anton explains violence isn't necessary before touching the beast's forehead. Happy to make a friend, the creature becomes a little puppy that rests on Anton's hand. Back in reality, the creature's walls release Anton, allowing him to teleport outside right before Cherno attacks. When the beast sees Anton for real, it begins crying, so when Cherno tries to regain control of it, the creature has enough strong emotions to fight back. As the creature shakes its body to capture Cherno, lots of Wave Eaters begin falling on Earth. The cops get ready to hit them, and the other citizens come outside to support them with chants, like in Cosmoball. The creature manages to put Cherno inside the Wave Eater egg and expels it so it can explode in the middle of space. While Anton teleports Natasha away, the citizens watch how the Wave Eaters freeze in the air because Cherno isn't there to control them anymore, and they celebrate their victory sometime later. Natasha has taken over Bella's duties, but she works as a team in the Dandelion with the other athletes and the creature. Without Cosmoball, now everyone can properly work on making Earth great again, and they use the creature's powers to put the moon back together. One afternoon, Anton's mother shows up with Vasily, but the cop clarifies Anton's charges have been dropped as thanks for saving the planet. Vasily confesses he wants to marry Anton's mother, and Anton approves, happy to see his new family keeps growing. Meanwhile, in space, Volume floats away in the pod the creature expelled her in. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.